So in this section we learn about Scala. What is Scala? How Scala is helpful in Spark, and what are the features of Scala? How we can play around with Scala. So before we proceed into the language details, I would like to give you two concepts here. Um First is object-oriented programming. So, what exactly object-oriented programming is? Uh, Object-oriented programming, or OOP, people call it OOPS also. Object-oriented programming is a programming language model organized around the objects rather than actions, and data rather than logic. So that's the main concept when you try to build work on some web technologies, when you try to make some softwares. It is the main logic, and that's why Java is on the top in order to, when it comes to object oriented features and programming structures. The second concept is functional programming. So functional programming is the programming paradigm, a style of building the structure and elements of computer programs that treats computation as the evaluation of mathematical functions and avoids the changing state and mutable data. Now, in functional programming, you will keep on evaluate the mathematical functions, try to make changes in the data, and changing their states, and and try to find out some results out of it. Now, when it comes to choose a language for analytics, there are several aspect of it. For example, you might want to do some hypothesis testing on data. You might want to perform some analytical functions in the data, and once you perform that the analytical function, and when you comes to a conclusion, you might want to build that as a solid architecture for it, wherein you can actually put in the data and it goes in, and once you have tested your hypothesis and everything, so that from now on I will follow these steps, and this will be like the data will come in, and that will try to automate the process, and then these are the triggers which will be initiated once data will reach to a certain stage. So when it comes to analytics, it was fairly important for us to use a language which is functional, as well as having the object oriented concept in it. Scala actually fits in right there. Scala is the modern multi paradigm programming language designed to express the common programming pattern in a concise, elegant, and a type safe way. Scala smoothly integrates the features of object-oriented and functional language. So Scala has got the capabilities of object-oriented programming, as well as it has got the functionalities of functional programming as well. That means it gives you ability to build and structure the elements of computer programs, as well as it will organize around the objects rather than actions, and data rather than logic. So you can do both in Scala. So understanding Scala, Scala has got a lot of attention from the data scientists who are using Spark, and Scala has been there for long time now. So let's understand the basics of Scala, how it performs, what are the benefits of Scala, and so this section will give you a brief introduction about Scala. So Scala is the short form of scalable language. So the first three letters, scalable, SCA, and then the second two letters from language, LA, has taken and to make it Scala. This means then Scala grows with you. You can play with it, typing one line expressions and observing the results. By you can also rely on it large emission and critical system, as many companies like Twitter, Yahoo, LinkedIn, Intel, they are relying on Scala to perform those sort of things. Let's understand what are the features of Scala. So Scala is influenced by machine learning, Java, and other languages. It founded in 2000, in late 2000, and then it has got the better component software support. You can see that a lot of components which are there, which can support Scala also. It unifies the object-oriented programming and functional programming in one go. Interoperates with Java and .NET both. So if you have some functionalities which is written in Java and .NET, it will actually interoperates between Java and .NET as well. Scalable programming language for component software with a focus is on abstraction, composition, and decomposition, not on the primitives. So these are the basics of Scala, which we need to understand here. Now, why go for a new language? There are at times then you try to do because we understand that science is the mixture of programming as well as the mathematics. We needed a language which can support both things in the best possible manner. So our goal was to create a language which is better support for component softwares. Let's understand two hypotheses. Programming language for component software should be scalable. So in case we want to build in something in it, or we want to add some component in it, it should be scalable enough. The same concept describes the small and large parts. Rather than adding lots of primitive, focus is on abstraction, composition, and decomposition. Language that unifies OOP and functional programming can provide scalable support for component, and that makes Scala unique in this manner. Adaptation is the key for testing this hypothesis. So once we try to fulfill our hypothesis on this pattern, we find that Scala is completely suitable for it. Once the question arises, why Scala? What are the main advantage of Scala over both languages when we have two languages in market, or in the place where we can use both functionalities? Why we need to use Scala? So let's understand the component bit by bit, and then we'll go on the PPT as well, and we'll see. So the first concept of Scala is object oriented programming. Scala is pure object oriented language. Every value in the object and every operation is a method call. The language supports the advanced component architecture through classes and traits like Java do. Classes are extended by subclass and is flexible in mixing based composition mechanism as a clean replacement of multiple inheritance. So whatever the object oriented programming features are there, they are there in the Scala as well. Let's understand the function, how it's a functional language. Even though its syntax is fairly conventional, Scala is also a full-blown functional language. It has everything you would expect, including a first-class function, a library that efficient immutable data structure, and is a general preference of immutability over a mutation. Scala provides a lightweight syntax for defining the anonymous function. It supports the higher order function. It allows functions to be nested and supports currying, which is the main functional programming features. People prefer Scala because of certain the best features of Scala. Now once you try to code in Scala, the codes are literally around 40 to 50% less as compared to Java. So for example, in case you want to run if you want to write a code in Java, you need to write 100 lines. Probably if you try to code in Scala, it will help you writing it will write the same code in 40 to 50 lines. So it's much shorter than the Java codes. It runs on JVM, can use any Java code on Scala almost as fast as Java within 10%. We have fewer errors, no null pointers problem, and more flexibility to it. As many public classes per source file as you want. Operator overloading. This is one of the basic features. Now let's discuss about the JVM. Scala runs on JVM. Scala is the compiled into Java bytecode which is executed by Java virtual machine. This means that the Scala and Java have the common runtime platform. So you need not to have a different machine to execute the code. It can be performed on runtime itself. You can easily move from Java to Scala. So that means that's an added advantage of the people who are already using Java and they have implemented Java in your system. Scala compiler compiles your Scala code into Java bytecode, which can be executed by the Scala command. The Scala command is similar to the Java command. Then it executes the in that it executes the compiled Scala code, which is very much similar to the Java. Like once you type in Java command, then it compiles the code. Here in Scala, you have to type in Scala in order to compile the code. Now, Scala enables you to use all classes of Java SDK and also your own custom Java classes or your favorite Java open source project, which is again an added advantage over Java. Scala can do concurrent and synchronized processing. Scala allows you to express the general programming patterns in an effective way. It reduces the number of lines and helps the programmer to code in the type safe way. It allows you to write the code in the immutable manner, which makes it easy to apply concurrency and parallelism, that is synchronization. Now these are the basic features of Scala, which which gives an edge over other language, and it has got already an edge. It incorporates functional and programming model, but these are the basic features which Scala has, and no other language gives you that advantage. So Scala, now when it comes to Java and Scala, there are some features which are exactly matching with Java. There are a couple of features which are completely opposite of Java, which are not there in Java itself. So first thing is how Java and Scala differs from each other. So what Scala has, I'm gonna tell you what Scala has. Scala has got all type of objects. Scala leads on that. You have inference, nested functions. All functions are objects. We have domain specific language support, traits, closures, and concurrency support by inspired by Erlang. So these are the basic added features in Scala which are not there in Java, and which makes it more appropriate for data science. Supports lightweighted syntax for anonymous functions, higher order functions, and nested functions like currying. It gives you ML style pattern matching. Supports for regular expression patterns. Integrate with XML. Can write XML directly in a Scala program and can convert XML DTD into Scala class functions. So these are the basic features of Scala which we have read. Some other features: also define new control structures without using macros while maintaining the static typing. Any function can be used as infix or postfix operator. Can define methods named plus, less than, equal to, or colon. So a lot of other features Scala has. Automatic closure construction can tag the parameters of method with the modifier def. When the method is called, the actual def parameters are not evaluated and non-argument function is passed. So if you can see over here that a single line of code can replace the Java's 5 line of or 5 or 6 lines of code, and it allows programmer to make their own controlled structure, which is one of the added advantage of Scala. So these are the basic functionalities of Scala. In the next session, we'll see about what exactly Scala does for us. How to install Scala and how to perform the practical implementation of Scala and Spark, and how RDD works, and a lot of things. So that's about Scala. Let's move to the next section.